Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and my free video training. As usual, I have everything listed on the board here that we're going to talk about today if you want to follow along and take notes. If you don't want to take notes or you don't get everything down, don't worry, it's all right here in my book, The Sword and the Anvil, in much more detail, and you can find that on my website, robertsiraki.com. Let's go ahead and start talking about what I wanted to cover today. And what I want to cover is the two main types of treatment for post-traumatic stress and trauma. And so the two types are psychotherapy and medications. Okay, one of which I'm opposed to. The other one works, but it needs some tweaking. Okay, so the first one, psychotherapy, there's three main kinds that are widely used today. The first is cognitive behavioral therapy, and that's often referred to as CBT. And that involves talking to your doctor or your counselor once a week, and it's the most effective treatment. Okay, it does work. I've done it a little bit, and I'll get into what I'm talking about there because I didn't quite do it the way that they intend to do it. The second part is exposure therapy, okay, and this is more of a prolonged therapy, and really these two are kind of go hand in hand. Okay, it's just that exposure therapy is really like CBT, only it's over a prolonged period of time. Okay, and you basically talk about your trauma over and over and over again for a long period of time until it no longer bothers you. Okay. The third type is EMDR. A lot of people use that nowadays. It's sort of like the popular thing, I guess. It does. I hear it does work. I've never experienced it, but basically what that is focusing on distractions like hand movements, lights, sounds, different things like that while you're talking about your trauma. Okay. The thing is that with all three of these, basically what they're telling you is that we are going to induce your trauma when you come to partake in these therapies, okay? Which is counterintuitive, really, right? Because with people with post-traumatic stress, and I know because I used to have it, the trauma, inducing your trauma, is the very thing that you're trying to avoid, right? So why on earth would you go visit this person who's telling you, I'm going to induce your trauma, right? And we're going to make you suffer through it over a period of time till you get over it. Okay, like I said, it's counterintuitive, right? Because I know when I had PTSD, if you told me that on my next appointment you're going to induce my trauma, more or less, I'm going to run for the hills, right? I'm not coming in. Okay, because that's the very thing I'm trying to avoid, right? And quite often you're on medication, and so what happens is you decide, I'm just going to take the pills because number one, it's easy. Number two, it numbs me, so I don't feel a thing. And you're just all right with that because it feels so much better than going through your trauma over and over again every day of your life. So what ends up happening is this creates a dependency, okay? And your dependency then causes additional health problems, okay? So the second part of your treatment, medications, which are designed to regulate the body's responses, really, those are the most widely used, right? Because it's easy. The doctor can write a prescription, give you a pill, and all you got to do is take it. And everybody is hunky-dory, right? Not true, okay? There are two main types of medications that they dole out in large quantities for post-traumatic stress and trauma. First one is antidepressants. The second one are anti-anxiety pills, okay? Because quite often, if you got one, you have the other, okay? Usually, post-traumatic stress, a lot of times, like I said, it's coupled with depression. But if you don't have depression to begin with and you got post-traumatic stress, you end up usually developing depression, okay? With the anti-anxiety pills, two main, very important things that you need to remember. Number one, they have the potential for abuse, right? Because what happens, you go in, they say, we're going to induce your trauma. So you don't go. So you take your pills, right? And the pills numb you, right? It's easy. But what happens is that they work for a while, okay? Say maybe a couple months or something. Then you get used to it, all right? They don't work no more. So then you got to go back because your trauma comes back again, right? So you go back to the doctor, you get a stronger dose, or you get more types, or you get both. And this cycle keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. Next thing you know, you're addicted, and then they cause a whole other slew of health problems, okay? Part of that is because, and I have this underlined several times because it's very important, they are not, I repeat, not to be taken long term. Doctors will even admit this, yet they leave you on them for long periods of time, increasing the dose over, through this period of time. I know, because I was on that stuff for 6 years, okay? And all that did was make things worse, okay? Because nobody was teaching me how to deal with the post-traumatic stress. They were just pumping me up with drugs. And I know it causes health problems because, as an example, I went from weighing 155 pounds and running half marathons to weighing 225 pounds and being in a wheelchair for a couple of years, all right? So I know what happens. And I know a lot of you don't want to end up like that. And I didn't either, but I did these things because I thought that was the right thing to do, okay? So basically, what needs to really occur here is that you need to be told not that we're going to induce your trauma. What the doctor should be saying is, look, I'm going to teach you some tools, all right, that you can use the next time you have a panic attack, the next time you experience your trauma or you're reminded of it, okay? We're not going to induce anything. All I'm going to teach you about is some tools that you can use so that you can deal with it when it happens, all right, on your own. And that really should be the focus. Because again, folks, it's all about education, right? You need to understand what post-traumatic stress is. You need to understand the physiological effects it has on your body, what it does to your body, what it produces, the health problems it can cause. And once you know all that, right, you then can begin to heal because you've identified the problem and you know how to attack it. All right? So, there's just simple things you can do. Like, for instance, okay, with post-traumatic stress, you have these emotionally charged memories, like your panic attacks, your trauma, okay? That controls you in your life, okay? Because they completely take you over, all right? There's ways to fix that, okay? Basically, what you got to do is retrain your brain, all right? Your responses to fear are learned, all right? So if you can learn these responses, you can unlearn them. In other words, you can train your brain to have different responses to your trauma, okay? And like, for instance, one of the things I did is that I went through and I made a list of all the people and things that ever hurt me or caused me trauma, sadness, any of those things, pain, whatever it was, right? And I had this list of things, and I went through, and there was like 10 or 15 things on there. I don't remember exactly what all they were because I let them go. But so I made this list, and what I did is I went through this list, and I went through each thing on that list, and I let myself feel what those people or things made me feel. I let myself feel the pain, okay? I just let myself feel it. And I went through everything on that list. By the time I got done with it at the end of the day, I was pretty distraught. I even physically got sick, okay? But that was this huge amount of baggage I just had to sort of start releasing, okay? Then what I did was the next day, I wrote a letter to each person or thing on that list. And I told them exactly how I felt. I let it all out. I invented cuss words and everything. I just let it all out. And basically I call it throwing up on paper, okay? And that's what I did. And at the end of each letter, I wrote, I release you from my life. I am moving forward. Goodbye. Okay? And I took each letter, I crumbled it up, I threw it in the trash can. As I threw it in the trash can, I repeated that phrase. I release you from my life. I'm moving forward without you. Goodbye. Then when I was done with that, I took the trash bag out of the can, tied it up, took it out to the dumpster outside. I threw it in the dumpster. I repeated that phrase. I release you from my life. I'm moving forward without you. Goodbye. And that was probably one of the best things I've ever done. It felt like somebody lifted 15 elephants off my chest, okay? And once I did that, that's when I really started to progress in my healing and healthy, natural ways. And it's very important. But you don't hear that, you know? It's something very important. You've got to release these things. I talked about all this stuff on my radio show today. I went over a couple of articles, and you can find my radio show on my website, robertsraki.com. Just go to Robert's radio page and click on there. There's instructions on how to listen live, which is every Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or you can listen to past shows. All my past shows are there. There's instructions on Robert's radio page on how to listen to those in case you missed it or you want to hear something that I said previously again. But one of the articles discussed art therapy, okay? And basically what you're doing is you're releasing your emotions through art, okay? So you identify the emotion and you feel the pain, and then you release it through painting, through drawing, through writing, which is what I did, okay? Through playing the guitar, singing, okay? Whatever it is, whatever your passion is, whatever that thing that puts a fire in your belly, that's what you got to do. Your passion is the vehicle through which you transition from the pain to the peace, okay? It's very important. Whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever it is that puts that fire in your belly, you've got to start doing it and using it to heal. Use it to transport yourself from the pain to the peace, okay? And I know it works, right? That's what my first 2 books were about right here. A Line in the Sand, about my experiences in the war, and Chrysalis, which chronicles really the 25 years I had post-traumatic stress, what I went through, the treatments, how I felt, what I did or didn't do about it, okay? And then when I finally decided enough was enough, I'm getting over this, okay? But that's what I was doing, right? I was releasing all this pain. I was feeling it and releasing it out into the world. I was getting rid of it, and I'm done with it now. And I can honestly say I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm at the most peaceful I've ever been in my life, even from before when I was a kid, okay? This stuff works, I'm telling you. All right. So basically, to sum that up, there is what you're doing is releasing emotions. You're turning emotionally charged memories into simply just memories. Okay. And once they're just memories, they no longer control you. They no longer control your life. Okay. Because the fact is, the memories, our brains are amazing. They're never going to go away. All right. It's all about the emotion, the emotionally charged part of those memories, which you can release. And you can do it in healthy, natural ways, without medications, without drugs, without alcohol, without any of that, okay? And we're going to go over more of this in future videos. Sorry I went on a little bit here, but it's important to me, and I just get so sick and tired of seeing my fellow brothers and sisters being treated as guinea pigs by the government or drug companies, because we don't need this stuff to heal, right? We deserve better than that. Right? We've already made a huge sacrifice, giving our lives for our country to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy here, right? So I just don't like seeing veterans get treated like they didn't do anything, right? So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I'll get off my soapbox now, but I do want to remind you to go to my website, robertsraki.com. You can check out my inspirational quotes page that I change daily. And you can go to Robert's radio page and check out my radio show, listen to it live or past shows. You can go to my videos page, which all my videos are there. So you can watch any of them that I do. Or you can go to my YouTube page under Robert Siraki Jr. And watch them there. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Help me spread the word so we can help more people. And you can also find me on social media. Just go to Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and I'm under Robert Siraki Jr. And you can just friend or follow me there. I put out a lot of information, folks, in all these different places. So, look it up. It's all out there. I've got something for everybody. The main hub of it all, again, though, is my website, robertsraki.com. You can find out how to look at or see anything that you want to see that I do. And lastly, I would like to leave you with my famous saying, which is, each and every day, take time to heal, become inspired, move forward, and be successful with your life.